Class is back in session. We still have much to do. This is part 17. There are only 3 classes left: Battle Studies, Art, and Home Economics. And believe you me, trying to get all this in is never easy. But I do want to say this. I want to get this out of the way because once I'm done with this, then we're going to continue on with the journey. It's a journey I hope you guys will stick around for because it will not be pretty. Let's go. Battle Studies with Miss Dendra. Let's get started then. For some reason, Cerebee's not working. Another day, another round of battle study. Us! Let's get right to it! Is everyone excited about the treasure hunt? It's always a great adventure. You get to take on the gyms, go to new places, and run all over the place with your partner Pokemon. And while you're running around out there, I bet you'll come across some big, shining crystals fairly often as well. These crystals are actually collections of terrestrial energy that seeped up out of the ground. You can check out these crystals to battle Tera Pokemon with your friends or other trainers in a group of 4. We call these battles Tera Raid Battles. The Tera Pokemon you face off against in Tera Raid Battles are crazy tough. They sometimes act differently than regular Pokemon, so you'll need to be on your guard. Luckily, trainers can also use a special action in Tera Raid Battles. It's called cheering, and there are 3 different cheers you can use. The first cheer is Go All Out. It boosts the attack and special attack of all allied Pokemon. The second is Hang Tough. It boosts special defense and special defense. And the third, well, let's see what you can guess. This cheer restores HP for all allied Pokemon. What do you think it is? That's actually a bit of interesting. Either Heal Up, Wham Bam Potion, or Explosive Healing Wave. I'd say Heal Up. That's right. Maybe I should make you the battle teacher, huh, new kid? The third and final cheer is Heal Up. It's a real powerhouse with the ability to both restore HP and cure status conditions. You can cheer up to 3 times during a single Tera Raid battle. Also, cheering up uses a turn, so you won't be able to have your Pokemon use any of their moves when you cheer. In conclusion, try everything at your disposal. If nothing seems to be working, try cheering on your allies. Providing support for your team can sometimes open up a new realm of possibilities. Aw man, I was just about to suggest we do some hands-on practice to really drive the point home, but I guess we're out of time. Class is over now. Take care. We met her before when we were doing the gym challenge. And now we have to help do her classes. Now for Battle Studies 3. Another day, another round of battle study. Let's get right to it. Last time we learned about Tera Raid Battles. Did any of you have a chance to try them out? Tera Pokemon are super strong, and the more difficult ones will use an even tougher tactic that you'll need to deal with. I'm talking about their Tera Shield. What happens when a Tera Pokemon has their Tera Shield up, you ask? Well, it'll take way less damage for one. It has a big effect on morale too. When trainers see that shield go up, they feel doomed, like there's no way to win the fight. So here's a question for you. If the Pokemon you're battling puts up its Tera Shield, what should you do? Terrastalize and attack it! That's right! You're a regular Tera Raid Battle Master, aren't you? Regular attacks don't work so well against Pokemon that have their Tera Shield out, but having your Pokemon Terrastalize is an effective method to overcome that issue. A Terrastalized Pokemon will do more damage to shielded Pokemon, especially if it uses moves that match its Tera type. Dealing enough damage to a Pokemon when its Tera Shield up can destroy the shield and break their Pokemon's stance. This means that it's important to properly time your Terrastalizing in Tera Raid battles. In conclusion, as they say, fight fire with fire, and Tera Pokemon with Tera Pokemon. Be sure to work together with your teammates to smash through your opponent's Tera Shield. Man, just about to suggest we do some hands-on practice, but I guess we're out of time. Next class will be midterm. Aim for a perfect score! Yes, we're still doing more classes. Now it's time for the midterm for battle studies. Sorry to all of you who went to the schoolyard first before finding the right room. I guess we can do our test in the classroom, at least. It might be hard to write your answers out on the field. Alright, time to put on your game faces and do battle with those test sheets. First one, it's special. The higher a Pokemon special defense, the less damage it takes from special attacks. No effect on a move's damage, the name. Trainers are in a Tera Raid Battle 4. Effective method for breaking a shield, terastallizing and attacking. Miss Dendara's favorite type, fighting. Time's up! Put your pencils down. I say you giving it everything you got. I'm sure you'll all get perfect scores. Well done, everyone. You can ask for your scores at the front desk. Alright, we need to get 3 questions correct, but knowing us, we're perfectionists. 5 experience candies S. Yeah, let's look at our items at least. Oh, that wasn't it. Yeah, there you go. We get a lot. We can use these to level up our Pokemon a bit faster. Now it's time for Battle Studies 4. Another day, another round of battle study. Let's get right to it. You all gave everything you had on your midterm exams. Well done. We'll resume our regular classes today, so keep up that energy for the second half. Have you all been using the R button to send on your Pokemon? If you do, your Pokemon will run off in the direction you're facing. It's a super useful tactic to let your Pokemon pick up far away items from you. And that's not all. If there's a wild Pokemon near where you send your Pokemon, they'll start battling each other. We call them auto battles. Just as the name implies, your Pokemon will act on its own during auto battles, meaning you won't have to give it any commands. And if your Pokemon wins, it'll give experience points. If you make good use, they can be a really efficient way to train your party. But you'll also remember that Pokemon won't evolve or learn new moves right away if they level up from an auto battle. If they lose an auto battle, it'll come back with just a small amount of HP left. Make sure to heal it up. Whoops, I just about did the whole class as a one-sided lecture. Does anyone have any questions so far? I have no questions. Great, you're all really good at this. Can't wait to see where you go from here. Even during auto battles, our Pokemon are out there battling for us, they're trainers. Keep an eye on them as much as possible, and if it looks like they're gonna lose, be sure to have them retreat. Also, this goes without saying, but Pokemon with low HP are already worn out. They probably won't enjoy auto battles as much, so don't work them too hard, okay? In conclusion, auto battles only work if a trainer and their Pokemon have a relationship of mutual trust. Be smart with how you use auto battles, so you don't lose the trust of your Pokemon. Class is over for now. Take care. Yeah, it's gonna keep repeating at the end of every time. Now it's time to move on to Battle Studies 5. Still doing these classes. I hope you gave auto battles a shot like we talked about last class. Making good use of auto battles will allow you to train up a bunch of different Pokemon. It's also an efficient way to gather the Pokemon materials you need to make TMs or at TM machines. Speaking of which, have you all been using the TM machines? I sure hope so, because it's pop quiz time. To create TMs, you need Pokemon materials and one other thing. Anyone remember what that is? League points. Looks like you're already a TM Machine Pro, new kid. The correct answer is League points, or LP for short. You can give LP and Pokemon materials to a TM machine to create TMs, but that's not all. You can also exchange materials to get LP. I recently heard about some shady individuals getting LP illegally using a technique called hacking, or something like that. I don't want any of you getting involved in bad stuff like that, got it? Anyway, you can also add TMs that you want to make to your watch list. This will let you keep an eye on the materials you need to gather. In conclusion, in order to make TMs, you need Pokemon materials. And if you want to get hold of lots of materials, you'll have to battle all kinds of Pokemon. Class is over for now. Another class bites the dust. Now it's time for the last one before the final. Let's get it done. This is our last class, but then don't let those energy levels drop before we wrap things up. You've shown that you have more than enough knowledge to be super strong battlers. I don't know that I have much left to teach you, but we can always aim for even greater heights. So today I'm going to teach you about the rules of link battles. When two trainers participate in link battles together, they can engage in either single battles or double battles with each other. And if you're playing in a group of 4, you can all battle each other in multi-battles. Now, when you're out having battles during your independent study, you can use whatever number of Pokemon you like, and they can be any level. But in link battles, there's a special rule. Some of these special rules involve adjusting Pokemon's levels. Now, the no restriction rule set lets all Pokemon stay at their current level. It lets trainers use multiple Pokemon of the same species and multiples of the same held item. But if you choose to use normal battles, all Pokemon will be set to level 50, regardless of what level. This even includes lower level Pokemon. They'll get a power boost to participate. Normal rules let you use multiples of the same Pokemon species and of the same held items. The great part about this rule is that it lets any of your Pokemon participate. All they have to do is learn some good moves. Lastly, the rules set called flat rules mostly affects Pokemon over level 50. Some Pokemon will be set to level 50. The flat rule set is the one often used for official tournaments. This rule set does not allow trainers to use multiple Pokemon of the same species or multiples of the same held item. Alright, here's a question for you. Which rule should you pick if you want to use a lower level Pokemon to keep its level low? Normal rules. Ooh, gotcha there. Normal rule adjusts all Pokemon to level 50, even lower level ones. If you got some clever strategy that you need to use a level Pokemon 5 for, your best bet is to choose the flat rules rule set. Of course, you can also choose no restrictions if you want to battle with any Pokemon you want, and any level with any held item. That's a pretty good rule set for when you want to battle freely with friends. In conclusion, normal rules adjust all Pokemon level 50. Flat rules that use lower level Pokemon at their actual levels. I hope you use these tips to have some exciting battles with your friends. Next class will be our final exam. Aim for a perfect score. Time for the final exam, and to get it done. I just want to get all these classes out of the way. It's finally game day. Today's our final exam. Time to put on your game faces and do battles with those test sheets. When Cheer Boost attack and special attack, allies do an all battle, all go all out. What do we call these battles when Pokemon stand out with the auto battle? Auto battles. They are, but how should you obtain HP? Exchange materials. High level Pokemon are adjusted to what level when using flat rules? Level 50. When using normal rules, you can use multiple Pokemon of the same species and it's multiples of the same item? True. Time's up! Put your pencils down. I saw you giving it everything you got. I'm sure you all get perfect scores. You all did so well in my class. If you pass this test, you'll officially be Battle Masters. Now go ask for your stellar scores at the front desk. Yep, we're perfectionists. I wonder what happens if you complete all your classes. Now it's time we move on to art. Art with Mr. Hassel. Oh, this guy.
Greetings, I am Hassel. I will be teaching this art class. It is a pleasure to meet you all. Now let us be candid for one moment. I imagine that many of you will forget all that you learn in this class once you graduate. After all, you don't even need even a basic understanding of artwork, much less a refined appreciation of beauty for most exams or jobs. Was my class a waste of time for you then? I think not. At least I certainly hope it isn't. Think for a moment, all of you. What is beauty anyway? What makes something beautiful?
I'd say it's more the eye of the beholder.
Interesting. Thank you, Jose. Oh, I don't mean to suggest there's a correct answer to my query. The important thing is that you all take time to think about it.
Think about why we must find beauty in a flower blooming on the side of the road, for example. Question why the sky is a different shade of blue than the ocean, or why the leaves change color. Ponder the windmills of Artisan and how they move. Contemplate the chilling bite of the waters of Cascarafra. I'm sure you will find that every little detail of your lives will seem more vivid, more impactful, if you just take a moment to stop and think. And I am certain that if you stop and truly appreciate the little beauties of this world, it'll help pull you through the days where your studies have you exhausted or when work has dampened your spirits. Do pardon me for waxing philosophical. You don't need to understand all that now. To put it simply, it is true that one doesn't need art to survive, but it certainly makes surviving much more enjoyable. It is my hope that this class will add even a little bit of color to your lives. That's all for today. Next time we'll try a more hands-on approach to appreciating beauty. So one of the Elite Four is our teachers. We cannot let them down. Wished you had Elite Four rematches in this game. Sadly, only had to fight them once. Let's move on with Mr. Hassel's next exam.
Hello, class. It is I, Hassel, yet again. In our previous class, we discussed what beauty is. It might have been a little boring for you. So today, I thought it would mix things up a little to pique your interest in art. Allow me to introduce our special guest, Gibble. This is Professor Gibble, the assistant lecturer for today. Now then, Professor Gibble, if you would be so kind as to terrestrialize for us. As some of you may already know, a Pokemon can terrestrialize if you use a Tera Orb. Normally, Professor Gibble would be of the Dragon type, but by terrestrializing, it succeeded in changing its type. So class, what type of these lovely glistening flowers above Professor Gibble's head represent? The grass type. Excellent, Jose! Full marks for you! These beautiful flowers blooming above Professor Gibble's head show that it has now become a grass type. The shape of the Tera Jewel above a Pokemon's head depends on the Pokemon's Tera type. To summarize, if an opponent's Pokemon terrestrializes during battle, observe a Pokemon's Tera Jewel closely to see what type he has become, and choose effective moves accordingly. It is my sincere hope that today's lecture will help you all achieve beautiful victories. The terrestrial phenomenon is indeed a fascinating and deep subject to discuss. That is it for today, class. Thank you, Professor Gibble, for your help. That's another lecture down. Let's move on to Art 3.
Hello, class. It is I, Hassel, yet again. I've been told that my previous lecture about the terrestrial Pokemon was very well received. Thank you for all your kind words. In fact, Ms. Dendra specifically requested that I impart even more battle knowledge to my students. So I have decided today we will take another look at how a Pokemon can terrestrialize. And of course, here is Professor Gibble to help us. Now then, Professor Gibble, if you will be so kind as to terrestrialize for us. Now what do we have here? Last class we saw grass-type terrestrializing, but this time we have something of a different shape. Observe, a Tera Jewel resembling a snowflake. Its dendritic shape is stunning to behold. It's a little chilly standing so close to it. So what type of Tera type do you imagine this jewel might represent? The Ice type. Excellent, Jose! The reason there's a snowflake shining above Professor Gibble's head is simple. It is now an Ice type. And because Professor Gibble is currently the Ice type moves would not be very effective against it. Keep in mind, usually they would deal quadruple damage to Gibble. Now here's some trivia about snowflakes. While snowflakes come in many different shapes and sizes, most are classified as hexagons. Just think of it, snowflakes fall from the sky, taking similar shapes without anyone saying they must. Do you not feel the great mystery of nature, the beautiful enigma we live in? This is a bit of a tangent, but Mr. Jacques' glasses are also hexagonal, aren't they? I almost forgot to mention that you can change a Pokemon's Tera type at the treasury to relocate it in Medali. Though I must say the cook there is a little prickly. You'll need to get on her good side if you want her help. Now come prepared for next class because it is time for your midterms. Thank you for today, Professor Gibble. Now it's time we do some midterms now. Now to press on. I do hope you're all ready because it is time for your midterm exam. Focus and do your best. And begin! Name of the gemstone that glows over a Pokemon's head when it terrestrializes: a Tera Jewel. When the answer to question 1 is the shape of flowers, what type does it represent? Grass. What shapes are most snowflakes classified as? Hexagon. What is the eatery that allows you to change to a Tera type? Medali. What makes something beautiful? Truth is, there is no answer. Time's up. That's it for today's test. Pencils down, please. I would rather not have students worry about passing or failing in my art class, but tests are tests. Anyway, good work, everyone. You can check your results on the front desk. It feels great to get a test out of the way, doesn't it? Time to check the results. Nice, we got all that passing score, 5 out of 5. Now it's time we move on to Art Class 4. Hello, class. It is I, Hassel yet again. I'm pleased to say that everybody did very well in the midterm exams. As a reward for all your hard work, we have a special guest visiting us today. Now then, Brassy, please come in. Greetings. Ah yes, Gym Leader Brassy. I am Brassius. I am an artist, and I focus exclusively on grass-type Pokemon for my work. Brassius here mainly creates three-dimensional pieces, such as statues and the like. One of his major work is the installation titled Surrendering Sunflora, found at Artisan. Many of you who challenge the Artisan Gym are no doubt familiar with these sculptures. Yes, I do recognize some faces among your students.
I hope you all understand how fortunate you are to be able to attend Haas's classes. Old Haas is the man who saved me when I had lost all hope and given up on myself. Why does this feel a bit funny? I don't know why. But he never gave up on me. I do not exaggerate when I say that he is my mentor in life. It is precisely thanks to Haas that I was able to establish my current art style. Oh, dear Brassy. I have nothing against reminiscing about old times, but today I hope you'll guide this class in a way only you can. Of course. Let's see. Why don't we discuss what Haas mentioned, surrendering Sunflora. Can anyone here tell me what my mood was when I created this expression? Think it was in a happy mood, or was it a sad mood? Ah, no! No, no, no! Completely and utterly wrong! When I made that sculpture, I had surrendered all hope. I was prepared to give up everything. I had resolved to give up my life as an artist if that piece did not receive proper recognition. Hence the name Surrendering Sunflora. That's exactly it, Haas. When I started out as an artist, I experienced many hardships. I even became deathly ill and fell into a slump that drove me to desperation. I began worrying only about what would sell. I was concerned only with fame and fortune. But all of my pieces during the time had no depth. They were all shallow trash. It was then that I met Haas. He helped me realize how petty I was being. I'll spare you the details, but in the end I was able to leave all that behind. And that is also when I crafted the Sunflora. Remarkable. If I didn't know the full story until now, that kind of thing is hard to tell someone, especially when they're so close to you. Now, I don't doubt that you adolescents will often find your heads crowded with words. My advice to you is simple. Be honest with yourself and do whatever your heart desires. So long as you don't cause trouble, that is. That is all from me. I must admit, I'm beginning to feel a bit embarrassed, so I bid you farewell, Haas. And farewell to your pupils as well. Oh, Brassy, I can't believe it. Such a wonderful class. Thank you. Thank you so much. Class dismissed. Now for Art 5. Hello, class. It is I, Hassel, yet again. First, allow me to apologize for losing my composure during our last class. I was so touched by Brass's story that I simply couldn't contain my emotions. I'm sorry for making such a scene. I certainly got a very stern talking to from Miss Time after that class, yes? Anyway, let us shift gears and dive into the material for today's class. Now, have any of you heard of the 10 sites of Paldea? As the name would imply, there are 10 sites in Paldea that are considered particularly beautiful. Among them, I would say that the Grand Olive Orchard is literally the most successful. You can see field after field of olive trees from the hill on the way to Cortondo. 2 waterfalls are also counted among these 10 sites, Fury Falls and Casaroya Falls. Then there's the peak of Glaciado Mountain, known as Paldea's highest peak. There's another cliff on Glaciado Mountain that's named after its rather unique shape. So let me ask you, my students, what is the name of the 3-pronged glyph on Glaciado Mountain? No need to grasp at straws. More like its reach? A very good guess. I think something reaching would stretch out further, though. The 3-pronged glyph on Glaciado's mountain is in fact known as Glaciado's grasp. Though its shape is far too stubby to be that of a human hand, I imagine someone thought it looked like a Pokemon hand grabbing something. There's also the mountains in Area 3 of the East Province, where you can get a good look at Levincia. It's particularly gorgeous at night. In fact, its view is so brilliant it is known as the Million-Volt Skyline. I hear it's quite a hot spot for dates, and deservedly so far having such a romantic view. I imagine it's, what do we kids see these days, a very fleek selfie spot? Of course, you may feel that not all 10 sites live up to their grandiose names. How often do we visit some tourist spot only to be disappointed? Not to say that you shouldn't visit them, only that you should keep your hopes in check. The important thing is to go yourself and see them with your own 2 eyes. And sometimes a disappointing experience can be worthwhile in its own way.
Take a chance. Well, that's it for today, class. Thank you for your attention. That's another class down. Now for the last one before the final. Hello, class. It is I, Hassel, yet again. My, how time flies, as they say. Indeed, our time together has certainly flown by. It's hard to believe that this is our last class. Now, our topics for today may feel somewhat unrelated to art, but there is absolutely no set definition as to what art should be. Therefore, let us carry on with the discussion and see where it takes us. There are two things I wish to focus on today: ribbons and marks. Both ribbons and marks are special honors that capture a Pokemon's qualities. There will be times when your Pokemon gives maximum effort or has a noteworthy experience. In recognitions of its feats and accomplishments, it can be given a ribbon. To give an example, if you manage to become incredibly close to a Pokemon, it may be granted the Best Friends ribbon. Incidentally, there is a person in Cascaparafra who can give your Pokemon a Best Friends ribbon. Marks, on the other hand, are mostly found on wild Pokemon when you meet them for the first time. They can symbolize the character of a Pokemon, such as with the Rowdy mark or the Vigor mark. It's completely up to luck whether you run into the Pokemon with these marks. So if you're able to catch a Pokemon with a mark, rejoice at your outstanding fortune. Does anyone know what special thing you can do with Pokemon that have ribbons and marks? No. Basically, you could show them off? Well, yes, indeed you can show them off, but surely that's not the extent of your interest, is it? The current answer is that Pokemon with marks or ribbons can be given titles. What's more, they can be sent into battle displaying a title of your choosing. For example, you can send out a Gibble with a Best Friends ribbon by declaring, "Go, Gibble the Great Friend." And while I know I just said that marks are generally found already on your Pokemon when you meet them for the first time, it seems that more recently, Pokemon can be awarded certain marks based on their efforts. There are marks such as the Gourmand mark, the Item Finder mark, the Partner mark, and so on. Perhaps it might be fun to try to work out how to get each mark using its name as a clue. Well, that just about wraps up our last class. Next is the final exam. Please review our material closely so that you pass on your first try. Let's take on the art final. I do hope you're all ready because it is time for your final exam. Focus and do your best. And begin! The name of the restaurant where you can change a Pokemon's treasure type, the Treasure Eatery. What is the name of Brassia's signature art installation that was discussed, Surrendering Sunflora? How many waterfalls are counted among the 10 sites of Paldea? 2. Where you can find the Million Volt Skyline? Levincia. The marks of Pokemon here are present when you first meet and none can be added later. False. Time's up. That's it for today's test. Pencils down, please. Thank you all so much for learning about art with me. The time we shared has left a mark that I will treasure, I promise you. And it is my sincere wish that all of you go on to even greater, more prosperous futures. And that's that. Good work, everyone. You can receive your results from the front desk. Now let's get this done. Let's see how we did. A perfectionist. Very good. Now it's time for the last class. Home Economics. With Mr. Sagaro. I see we have some energetic young ones in our class this time around.
You may call me Mr. Salgado. Your time here with me will be spent obtaining knowledge and skills indispensable for daily life. Many of you have left the care of your parents to live here on your own in the academy dormitory. I pray that the knowledge I impart to you will improve the quality of your lives and the necessities thereof: food, clothing, and shelter. Of all those three categories, I assume the most pressing and interesting for you all is food. When you eat sandwiches on your picnics, the HP of your party Pokemon will be restored. You'll also gain something called meal powers, which provide all manner of benefits. For example, these powers can make Pokemon easier to catch, or to increase the experience points that your Pokemon receive. I think you'll also find that the breadth of the effects can be expanded by crafting sandwiches of superb flavor. What's more, there is a certain something that is particularly important if we wish to receive meal powers with even more helpful effects. Let me see, Master Jose, tell me, what must you keep in mind when you receive meal powers? I'd say fillings and condiments. Perfectly correct. Perhaps you're already aware of this fact from having helped your family with cooking at home. Your choice of ingredients, including both fillings and condiments, is an important factor in gaining even more helpful meal powers. For example, using sweet ingredients in your sandwiches may help you gain egg power. Including numerous bitter ingredients, on the other hand, can give you item drop power. Learn to aim for specific effects when crafting sandwiches will almost certainly make your culinary endeavors most enjoyable. Please be aware, however, that you can also receive meal powers by eating at restaurants. I must say that I would feel the utmost joy if you all learned much here in my class and came to better understand home economics. Our time together has come to an end for today. I bid you all farewell. He's gonna strain my throat, I swear. Alright, another class to do. Home economics 2. Put away your phones. It's time to begin class. In our last class, I believe we talked about the effects you can gain from food on your picnics. You can receive meal powers and even restore HP for all the Pokemon in your party. It is a truly convenient means of healing your Pokemon. Unfortunately, as I'm sure you're aware, it is not suited for use in battles when you cannot make food or when you wish to recover HP quickly. In times such as these, you should make use of healing items such as potions, which you can purchase from Pokemon's or the school store. Healing items are immediately effective and can be used anytime that you can open your bag. They are, however, consumed after one use. Potions restore 20 HP, Super Potions restore 60, and Hyper Potions restore under 20. The pricier the item, the more HP it will restore. Keep in mind how much money you have when you are stocking up on these items. However, unforeseen happenings are an inextricable part from traveling from place to place. Imagine, if you will, the following scenario. You find yourself with injured Pokemon, but you have no potions. You're out of sandwich ingredients, and there are no Pokemon centers nearby. Tell me, Master Jose, what should you search for when in a perilous situation with no way to heal your Pokemon? Items on the ground. Perfectly correct. I see you are well learned in survival techniques. If you see something shining on the ground, it is actually an item that has been dropped there. You may be able to find a restorative item such as an orange berry or a potion in this way. You can use the R button to send out your Pokemon to pick up such items as well. And then there are berries, of course. Berries, by the way, are like items from shops. If you let your Pokemon hold one, it'll decide on its own when to eat the berry during battle. Letting your Pokemon decide this timing for itself can be quite interesting. At any rate, if you find yourself in need of healing, I suggest you look around for shining items on the ground. If you can't find such items, there are other methods you can employ for healing your... but I see the bell demands that topic wait. Our time together has come to an end for today. That's another one down. Home Economics 3. Let's get to it. Put away your phones, it's time to begin class. In my last class, I taught about HP restoration. However, after class, I was asked by several of you about power points. When a Pokemon loses all of its health points, it faints and can no longer battle. What then happens to a Pokemon when it loses all its power points? It can't use any moves. Perfectly correct. Perhaps you know this from first-hand experience. When a Pokemon runs out of power points, it can no longer use its moves.
However, each move has its own store of power points, so you can mitigate loss by using a variety of moves rather than just one move repeatedly. If a Pokemon loses all power points for all of its moves, it will only be able to use Struggle, an action that also damages the Pokemon that uses it. In order to avoid this predicament, power points can be restored at Pokemon Centers along with HP. Items such as Ethers and Max Ethers can also be used to restore power points. Be careful not to consume potions with Ethers in the heat of battle. However, Ethers are not sold at shops, so you should just use them judiciously if you find them. The stronger the move, the lower the maximum power points. Do not waste uses of these moves unless you wish to quickly run out. It is important to find balance in a Pokemon set of moves. As you can see, HP isn't the only thing you must keep an eye on while adventuring with Pokemon. I hope that you will all take care to ensure that your partner Pokemon can perform at their best as you each engage in the treasure hunt. Our time together has come to an end for today. Our next meeting will be an examination day. Be sure to review well in preparation. I can't even say the word without risking demonetization. Let's get to the midterm. Only a few left, and then the final, and then we're done. Because I don't think we're going to have time to cover the extra stuff. We got to continue on with the journey. The time has come to test how well you all have learned here in my class. Let's begin before the information simmering in your brains from a last-minute cram session fades. What is not an effect in a picnic meal? Increasing speed. Following affects the kind of meal powers received from a particular meal, fillings, and condiments. Which of these berries can restore Pokemon's HP? That's a no-brainer. Orange berry. Leonardo wanted this Pokemon to decide on its own when to use its item in battle, so he gave it an orange berry. This will work as he hopes. True. If a move runs out of power points, it can no longer be used. If it runs out for all its moves, it can sit there in frustration. That's false. The time for answering questions come to an end. Please stop writing. I hope you're all able to get the examination everything you had. Please remember to ask for your scores at the front desk before leaving. Alright, let's get our results out of the way. We need 3 to pass the midterm. That's a passing grade. Now let's take care of the second half of these classes. Put away your phones, it's time to begin class. Though some of you had already taken the midterm exam multiple times, I am glad to say that the majority of our class passed. I feel honored to see that the knowledge and skills indispensable for daily life has taken root in all of you. I trust that you all work just as hard on your life skills in the second half of our course as well. Let us now turn our attention to the topic of the day, which was inspired by a question I received on the subject of meal powers. The student who asked this question is a young man who enjoys the culinary arts. He tells me that he regularly researches culinary techniques on his own and pays careful attention to the ingredients he uses. He also spends day and night studying all aspects of the culinary arts. Yet despite this, he is baffled by his inability to increase the effectiveness of his meal powers. So tell me, Master Jose, since you did quite well on your midterm exam, what should this young man do to increase the effectiveness of his meal powers? I think it means Arvin. Make food with other people. Perfectly correct. I see that you are knowledgeable about the culinary arts. To increase the effectiveness of meal powers, your sandwiches must be filled with many different ingredients. For a single person, this may prove difficult, but if you prepare a sandwich with others, you'll be able to handle a larger serving of bread. With a larger base to start with, it becomes quite simple to add more ingredients to your sandwich, which in turn makes it possible to receive meal powers of increased effectiveness. This applies more broadly as well. When dealing with a difficult issue, working with others to solve that issue may be the best course of action. I am sure that Arvin will likewise work with friends to craft his sandwiches in the future. The identity of the male student is a matter of privacy, so I ask that you do not pry too deeply. Our time together has come to an end for today. Of course it was Arvin! Alright, that's another one down. Home Ec 5. Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I did get plenty of sleep, but still. Time to begin class again. While you're out performing field with one of your Pokemon walking alongside you, have you ever noticed changes in its coloration? I don't mean it suddenly becomes a shiny Pokemon or any nonsense like that. I am speaking of it becoming filthy. Pokemon battle, they get hurt by moves used against them. They get battered by wind and rain. They get covered in sand and mud. They get in the word filthy. I have seen many a trainer walking about with their adorable little Pokemon without addressing this issue. It is deplorable. Let me ask this question of someone who I'm sure would not tolerate such shameful conduct. Ah yes, you. What should you do if your Pokemon is dirty? Clean it up! Perfectly correct. I knew I could count on you to provide me with such an answer. When your Pokemon are dirty, clean them. That is, of course, simply common sense. While you're having a picnic, you can approach the Pokemon on your team and perform a variety of actions. One such action is putting them through what I like to call the Pokemon wash. In other words, you are able to clean them up. You start by getting your sponge lathered up by soapy bubbles as you gently and carefully scrub your Pokemon. Once your Pokemon is nice and covered in soapy bubbles, the bubbles will encapsulate the filth and you simply wash them away with a spray of water. This will get your Pokemon clean and shining bright as a Tera Jewel. It is certainly quite a bit of work, but this will also restore HP and cure status conditions. However, some Pokemon may have parts of their bodies that they don't want scrubbed or that they would rather not get wet. Be sure to keep this in mind when cleaning your Pokemon. Now, the most important point is I must mention that some Pokemon like to be dirty. Though I will contradict myself by saying this, please do remember that cleaning your Pokemon is not always the kind thing to do. Our time together has come to an end for today. Now to take on the last Home Economics class, Home Ec 6. Put away your phones, it's time to begin our last class together. Home economics is a study of life's necessities. But looking back on our time together, I realized that I focused almost entirely on food. I hope it is not too late to shift to a discussion of clothing, another necessity in our last class. As I'm sure you're aware, our academy has an air of freedom about it. We provide uniforms for each season to accommodate the diverse climate of Paldea. However, students are free to wear whichever style they wish whenever they please. You should all have received 4 sets of tops and bottoms, one for each for spring, summer, fall, and winter, when the academy accepted you. If by chance you were not aware of this, you may wish to peruse your wardrobe. As long as you wear our school uniforms, the rest of your ensemble need not be school issued. This includes your bag or your hat if you choose to wear one. You're even free to style your hair however you wish. Miss Salvatore's hairstyle, for example, would almost certainly have been against school rules when I was a boy. That reminds me. There is one more thing you all like to decorate, which I must say I must find quite charming. Our Rotom phones. Perfectly correct! That's the adorable little thing I was speaking of. Oh, it interests me so. I must admit that I am fascinated by Rotom phones and how to customize them. What's that? Oh, very intriguing. So there's a shop called Delibird Presents where you can purchase cases for your Rotom phones. I thank you for that useful bit of information. I shall have to go myself first thing tomorrow to get an adorable case of my own liking. Forgive me, I seem to have gotten a little carried away with this small talk. Ahem. As this class, known as Home Economics, nears its end, I offer these final words to you who have been honing everyday life skills with me. My field of study is not so decisive as the likes of mathematics, for instance, where test scores might play a part in deciding your future. However, as you go on to cook for yourselves, to take care of your Pokemon, to decide what to wear in the morning when you awaken, I would be honored if what I have taught you serves to smoothen out and enrich your lives, even if only a little. This sentiment was imparted to me by Mr. Hassel and his particular outlook on such matters. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for seeing this class through to the end. Our time together has come to a close for today. Prepare to do your best on our final exam. And now the final exam. I wonder what happens when you, pass all the classes. Time to finish this. Home Economics Final. Time to do this. The time has come to test how well you've all learned in my class. Let's begin before the information simmering in your brains from a last-minute cram session fades. Following meal powers makes it easy to come across shiny Pokemon's sparkling power. Which of the following is not an effect of egg power? It helps hatch strong Pokemon. What is a simple yet important tactic for increasing the effectiveness of meal powers? Make food with others. What is the correct action to take when your adorable Pokemon become dirty? Pokemon walk. This is a question about Academy rules. Should you change your uniforms, tops and bottoms to match each season? It doesn't matter. The time for answering questions has come to an end. Please stop writing. I made the questions a little easier than I planned to as a way of saying thank you for informing me about Rotom phone cases. I trust that you all gave this exam everything you had, so that you will not have to retake it. Please remember to ask for your scores at the front desk before leaving. These load times take a while. Now let's see how well we did. Like always, 5 out of 5. You have now finished all of your classes and passed all of their exams. I have this for you from Director Clavel. Experience Candy L. Now you can focus all your efforts on this year's treasure hunts. Be careful out there. Yep, that's all there is to it. That's it. We're done with our classes. Completing them, we get 5 Experience Candy Large. And trust me, now we can properly continue on with this journey. And it's been a long while. But I'm thankful it's finally put to rest. Thank God, too. Yeah, I wasn't gonna end this playthrough without me going through classes. So, yeah, that is it for this part of Pokemon Scarlet. Next time, the journey will continue on. Why? Simple. Guess where we're going next? If we're judging by the order, I think this is our next stop. We're going to head to the North Province and tackle this one. And then we move on here to tackle this one. And then after that, we'll tackle the last type at Castoria Lake. So I'll see you then. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. It means a lot. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell. I will see you next time. Don't forget, your support really does matter. I will see you then. This is MegamanNG signing off. Peace out. Now the journey can finally continue.